You're right, guys. Welcome to the latest episode of Muscle Out Talks. I'm here with good old Vivek.
Howdy, it's Vivek.
You good?
I'm brilliant, thanks, yeah.
Wonderful. We thought we'd just do a quick episode on accessible tech, something we talked about many times before, and updates from our accessible tech master-in-chief, Vivek Gohill, who's I don't know, Vivek's kind of, you're kind of like a part-time science professor guru on this stuff. You're always building new stuff for your chair.
Yeah, well, God, you build me up to be like a master at everything.
You're only an oracle as well as that, you know. There's these great with the mind, great with the, like, accessible tech, you know.
Yeah, it's just basically me using other people.
Yeah, this is it. You're telling me people are doing stuff. Your chair's going to be a new go-go gadget, whatever.
I think the thing with accessible tech, I think everything like is upgraded. New things are coming out that when you have a disability, you don't really know what to go out, where to get technology that can help you. Because what I'm having problems at the minute is, again, using my PS4 control. I've already altered it a few kind of months ago, but I've got a bit weaker. So I've been wondering about, like, I've been a bit depressed because I couldn't really play or enjoy myself. But I found this guy, Graham Law. He works for Remap. They've adjusted my controls and made a lot of things for me. But he does a side business where he designed this technology especially for people with a very limited movement. Like you can't even see that they're moving their fingers, but they can press buttons.
Wow.
So he's made this, he's got one device called the HAP 100, which helps you to control your computer. You plug kind of some switches in, can program it, and he kind of, through that interface, you control it by suck and blowing, or like little taps. So
Wow.
that was really good.
So it's not like just a kind of a USB thing that your thumb would maneuver?
No.
As well. Because people who may have not have known but have seen previous episodes with you, you sometimes have what looks like a microphone, but it's not. It's you control your mouse with your mouth.
Yeah, well, the thing is that technology was really good, but recently it's broken. And because it was made in China, it's taken quite a long time to get a replacement. So in the kind of that month, it's been I couldn't write a lot and couldn't play my game. So it was a bit all happened at once. But I think meeting Graham, it really showed me that there is always something out there, but there's not enough awareness of it. Because I come up with find these solutions just by chance. I'm not actively looking at it. It just happens, which I think because it's helped me, I think it's best to share it with people.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll look Graham up and we'll put a link to his stuff up in our article as well. I feel like with digital tech, accessible tech right now is that, I mean, it's quite the time to be talking about it too, because my brother Andrew, who also has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, if people are watching for the first time, he's just got the eye gaze software, and I was really excited in the beginning, and I told him to get it, and he was enjoying it, and then he got all set up, and I was remembering stuff that you and I think our friend Ravi has said about it, that it's a strain on your eyes after a while. It's not natural. And in the first hour that Andrew was using it, he was already like, he said to me something like, he said, oh, you know, it just always, I want to look away, and then it does something. He's like, you can't just pause it for a minute. So I feel like you sort of hear of different kinds of new accessible tech, and you're like, oh, that's going to be the one, but it doesn't quite meet your expectations. And I feel like there are so many different possibilities right now that it's the ones that do the best in what they're doing are the sort of go-to ones, and you never know which one's going to excel next. I mean, for years people had to use Dragon software to speak to, and it never worked, and then all of a sudden Amazon brings out Alexa and it understands everything. So
well, I think the other thing is that all this accessible tech, it has to sometimes be quite bespoke. Can't really have one standard thing. You need it to be adjustable. So also, I'm going back to Remap. The guy has made something else called a Mojo, which is a motion-sensitive joystick. So with that, he's created kind of, you can plastic molds to hold your hands, and all the buttons you can kind of, he maps them to your fingers in the way your hands are. Wow. So the analog sticks are kind of at the side where you rest your thumbs in, and you can do that. And other ones, it kind of joins two buttons together, so you scroll through it. So it's really quite interesting. So,
no, that sounds really good.
I talked to Masalau a lot more when he's designing my equipment.
Yeah, definitely. And if any of you guys are watching or listening, what sort of stuff do you use? What sort of stuff do you prefer? What is there that you're like, this is really good, but it could be better in this way? I don't know. And I think this is a real key thing for men like yourself who have Duchenne muscular dystrophy, because I think DMD is a particular condition. I mean, forms of SMA similar as well, where you lose much of your muscles and movements, but not really your fingers. You always still have your fingers, and the little things that can be done with the movement and muscles that you still have left in that are huge. And I think there's just endless possibilities. Do you use your eyes? Do you use your mind? Do you use your fingers? And I think there's all these different trains of possibilities there, and it's just which technology can get developed in the best time.
I think it's kind of every disabled person, if they use equipment, it's good to kind of review. It's a shame that there's not like a site where you could put reviews on and you go into it and check.
There's a page on Muscle now, Vivek. Page on Muscle. We'll put a page on Muscle for that.
Because the other thing is, like, I'm quite a positive person, but when things like this happen, it really does it's difficult to stay positive and not
get... you mean with the mouse thing breaking?
Yeah, but even not being able to enjoy playing a game, and it's depressing when you start to feel that kind of your disease is limiting your life. Whereas when you have the tech, it doesn't feel like it's limiting your life because you're doing things that you want to at the time you want to. So.
Well, Vivek, you've just used life limiting in a very different way to most people. Most people say life limiting in terms of quantity. You're saying life limiting in terms of quality.
Yes.
That is, I think that's key. That's what we've always got to look at, because and I think as well, from a disability pride point of view, it's, your disability is fine and you can live a wonderful life with your disability, as long as there are things there to allow you to live a wonderful life with your disability. And I can imagine that, I certainly know from experience that that's just a bloody amusement.
When you don't have it, you kind of realize how much you did rely on it. Because I had it only for a couple of months, and I was like inseparable.
So were you using that mouse thing for your PS3 or for your PS4?
No.
What were
was just for using the computer.
So what was your PS4 controller that broke? What was that like?
Well, that was, it's like a standard PS4 controller, but the buttons were slightly molded to my finger, and I had these kind of gold, kind of these buttons that I tap, but with that, I can't really hold the controller anymore. So that's why I called Grail.
Yeah. Wow, I see. So it was that you needed it further adjusting. I see, I see. Wow, gosh, yeah, this is, and just, I don't know, for anyone that's interested in this first time, is there any word from like Sony or the games companies on this? Do they do anything that can cater to this, or are they just ableist as heck?
Well, I think they don't. There is a lot of talk about accessibility is quite a big thing in gaming, but the big companies kind of you need to teach them
Yeah.
about accessibility because there's a lot of other places out there that design these controllers for expert esports, so pro gamers, with they've got different buttons and it's adjustable, and that would be quite good for disabled people. But because it's just for the pro gamers, it's very expensive and kind of inaccessible for a disabled person to use to find because it's very
It's
expensive.
very odd that they don't do some sort of CSR or some sort of corporate social responsibility, or it would be a great bit of charity work for them to, make a production line of things that they could give away to people who need them.
They'd have a bigger fan base.
Yeah, well, certainly. I mean, it would give them a few good viral videos, if they could give away to controllers to disabled people. But I mean, that's the thing. Anyone who has a company should want to make the stuff that they do inclusive. So I mean, it's not inclusive. So yeah, I think they should really look to remedy that just as a point of course. Wow, awesome. Well, we'll keep updated with this. Do you have what's in the works at the moment? You said you're getting a new cup holder for your chair.
Oh yeah, Again, it's this guy from Remap called Mike. He's coming to kind of because the problem I have now, when I drink, I've got a really long straw. I'm tired, kind of sucking it up. But if the cup was higher and kind of near my face, I could use a shorter straw. So he's found he's going to get this clamp, and he's got this flexible kind of wire thing that's quite high, and then you make a platform with a cup holder.
Yeah.
So then I can move that kind of level with my chin, and then I can drink it from there.
That's really good. Yeah, no, I like this. I like the sound of that. Yeah, you'll have to show us how that goes when it's all done.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think we'll keep these updates, monthly videos, monthly updates as to how Vivek is breaking the accessible tech community and stormtrooping new pathways.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
You're on the podcast, and we'll see you all again real soon.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.